I look absolutely beraggled. Is beraggled even a word? I have just finished week 3 of my journey to lose 1.5 inch off my waist, and maybe, hopefully, about, I don't know, £7 of weight. I'm ending the week in Germany, so I've been out of my comfort zone in regards to what I've been eating. I've been eating really differently to how I've been eating the previous 2.5 weeks. It was going to happen, weren't it? Because we're doing Christmas markets, so I needed to experience some of the things on offer. We'll see how I did anyway. This week, I've not really had any major epiphanies. The first couple of weeks, I was learning loads about myself with having taken so many different food groups out of my diet. But this week, it's just been more like getting on with it. It's become more about putting it into my lifestyle than changing anything major. So yeah, I don't know. This one might be a little bit boring because there's no mental going on. It's just more adopting the different eating patterns. No weighing because I don't want to get weighed till the end of week 4, which is going to be coming up quite quickly. And that's the thing, I gave myself a month more or less because I know how quickly a month goes. Before you know it, you're into next month, aren't you? We're all like it. Christmas is now upon us. Last Christmas were like 2 weeks ago. So that is why I set myself a month to try to sort myself out, because my eating habits were getting a little bit grim. And I knew that if I didn't do something now, next year it would be an even worse situation. And who really wants to walk about with the jeans feeling tight? Not me, not part of my life plan. So yeah, let's see how I got on this week, shall we? What wicked weather we're having at the minute. I'm on day 2 of week 3. The weather has dropped so much. I have to talk about weather. I'm British, all right? It's bleeding freezing. Anyway, weather done. Week 3, day 2, starting this week in the UK. I should be finishing this week in Germany. Hey, check me out. So it's going to be an adventurous week. Not sure how I'm going to do it yet because we're doing Christmas markets and we're doing hotel breakfasts and I am in it to win it. Yesterday, what did I do? Oh, I'd got lots of kids staying over and I were cooking and baking and egg sandwiches all morning. I had the rest of my chia seed pudding for my breakfast. So easy to make. I know not everybody is a fan of the frog spawn texture, but I quite like it. And then I had, decided I haven't had eggs throughout the past couple of weeks, so I decided to have 4 rashers of bacon, a fried egg, dried fried egg, hence why you are not seeing an image of it because it looked dreadful, and half a tin of tomatoes, salt and pepper. It tasted okay. I've had nice tasting things during this past couple of weeks, but I just decided that I wanted to try egg to make sure that my stomach was okay with it, because I've always questioned whether me and eggs actually get on well, specifically over the past 8 years. And I've not had any adverse effect from an egg, so maybe we are good. And then for my lunch, I had some, no, that wasn't my lunch, sorry. For my dinner, I'd got leftover couscous that I'd done for the kids the previous evening. So I had couscous, tomatoes, cucumber, red onion, red pepper, and then I also had some bits of ham. I don't like ham, not a fan, but I'd got no tuna and I wanted to make sure I got some more protein in there. So I ate ham, even though I don't like it. And I had some pan-fried gnocchi, potato dumplings. Low fat, taste nice. You can boil them. You can have them in pasta sauce. You can pan-fry them. They are my pasta and rice replacement, I feel, at the minute. And then it was my daughter's 15th birthday. She always wants these covered chocolate covered frozen strawberries. They cost a bloody fortune. Anyway, she had a bag and I had one of those. It were nice. I think 2 strawberries is 1 portion. When I was looking at the fat, I was thinking there's no way that there's 5 grams of fat in this 1 chocolate covered strawberry. So I worked it out and I think you can have 2 strawberries, 2, you know, whatever they're saying. Anyway, I had one. It was a nice little treat. Again, I don't think out special about them. So as I said last week, I'm going to try to focus on not eating with my eyes, which if I can break that, I have broken a habit of a lifetime and possibly even broken an intergenerational thing, because my mother definitely eats with her eyes. So today it's 1 p.m. and I haven't eaten anything yet, but I am treating myself to a really nice coffee. If you like the sort of autumn vibes with coffee and you haven't tried a drop of maple syrup, a drop of vanilla extract and a sprinkle of cinnamon at home, you need to do it, because this is just a stunning drink. I have no idea what I am going to be eating today though, but I do know what I'm going to be enjoying to drink. I'm actually on day 4 now. Day 3 didn't even bother filming because I hardly ate anything. I have been right busy because I've been trying to get on top of this decorating that I've got hanging, looming over my head like a little dark decorating cloud. And I've started filming hampers and taste testing and reviewing hampers. And believe it or not, that takes up a chunk of time. You know, when you're doing everything else as well and then you're trying to slot that in. So I didn't bother filming because I thought, actually, I've hardly ate out. I think, in fact, I've written it down because I completely forgot what I'd ate. So day 3, I had some broccoli left over. So I did broccoli and pan-fried gnocchi in this Marks and Spencer's everything sauce. It didn't look nice. It looked terrible, so I didn't film it. And the sauce, nah, far better sauces on the market than the M&S everything sauce. So I probably only had 3/4 of that. But I had a treat. I had a chocolate snowball, you know, the marshmallows with the chocolate coating and the coconut on top. So I'd been reviewing a hamper and I'd bought those alongside it. So after filming, eventually, I've got to try one. Oh God, it started snowing. Oops. And yeah, it was really nice. I wanted to start trying things to see whether it would trigger me back into my old eating pattern. I know, I'm evil, aren't I? I'm evil to myself. But it were nice, I enjoyed it. Very sweet, obviously, because it's marshmallow. But the aftertaste lingered for that long that it put me off even wanting another one. But they are nice. But that's all I had on day, whatever it were, day 3, day 2. It's got to have been day 2. Jesus, I'm messing this up. Yeah, day 2. Day 3, which was yesterday, I was also filming a hamper. So I have had the little hamper bits that I've been taste testing, but when you watch videos, you'll see that I literally am just having a bite, other than half a mince pie yesterday, which I demolished because it was bloody gorgeous. So yeah, 2 yesterday, I realised that I'd not eaten anything, so I got some leftover salad, chucked some ham in, which is my least favourite of proteins, but I needed some protein. Chucked some ham in, chucked some beetroot in, love beetroot, and I put some of this Aldi balsamic raspberry glaze that I picked up at summertime, but I only ate about maybe 1/3 of the bowl. It were a big bowl. I knew that I'd rather eating it or throwing it away. So I just discarded the rest of it. And then in the evening, I couldn't be bothered to cook. So Darren picked me this soup up from the Co-op that looked and sounded, again, eyes, really nice. Mediocre. at the most, and I did it with sweet potato fries, which also weren't as nice as they normally are. So maybe it's just me. Maybe over the last couple of days I've not been specifically hungry. I've not really had any food desire at all. I did also have a ginger biscuit because I wanted to see whether I could have one with a cup of tea and not want any more. Again, I'm testing my own limits now, aren't I? Because let's not forget I'm going to Germany soon. So I need to know what situation and what state I'm in my brain. And it was nice, and I only had one and I didn't want any more. But I know that if I started doing that every day, it would not take long for me to revert back to what I like. I know that. I'm absolutely surrounded by bits and bobs at the minute because of the hamper stuff. I am giving it to other people, and obviously the kids are eating it, and Darren's got a tin of biscuits for work. Because once you review these things, you can't just chuck a bin, can you? So I have sent people off with stuff, but I have still got a fair whack in my house. Interesting, reflecting back to what I were getting like, and the reason why I put myself on this diet through November, it would have been me eating most of the stuff, I'm telling you now. I would have just been grazing all day because I do like picking, and that is what I would have been doing. And God forbid I were watching TV, because as we know, I've took that one out of me month. I would have been eating some right shit, watching television and all. So ever grateful for what I have put myself on this month, I'm telling you. I do feel better in myself, and a lot of the food noise has gone. It's probably because my taste buds are that disinterested now in what I'm putting in my mouth. They're like, let's just give us a break. Let's just give us a break. We're not even eating. We can't be arsed. It's disappointing. So anyway, I'm going shopping with my mother. I'm not going to eat until I get back, because I'm still doing the intermittent fasting hours, which are generally between 11 and 7. But as I say, I've not been eating till afternoon. And I think it's because other than chia seed pudding, I've not found anything else that I want for my first meal as a breakfast, because I do prefer the sweet to the savoury for breakfast. And at this point in time, I can't find anything. So I find it easier to go straight to lunch, and then I ain't got that disappointing dilemma going on. Yeah, so no idea what I'm going to be eating today, but I suppose we'll find out tomorrow, won't we? Day 5. Look at my heart. Can you see that? I didn't even try to do that. It just plopped out of the milk frothing machine. Just a little love heart sent from wherever it came from. It made me smile this morning. Day 5. And yeah, going to Germany in a while. I'm going to fly from Stansted, so it's a bit of a travel day today. Don't know how I'm going to eat. Don't know what I'm going to eat. Don't think I'm going to eat before I leave the house. So I think from here on out, we'll probably switch to just filming what I eat. Might do a little voiceover for you. Who knows? Slightly apprehensive. But I don't actually believe that I'll mess it up. Like what I've been doing. Because I was thinking the other day, if I just go L for leather and just ram out down my throat, I'm not going to be able to go anywhere, am I? Because I'm going to be sat on the bloody toilet. And who wants that in their life when they're travelling? Not me, mate, not me. Out of all possible food choices in the airport, I go for boots every single time. But they've got the Christmas range in, and I have not had a sandwich for quite a while now, actually. So I was really looking forward to having this. And then, no, even though I weren't going to get any chocolate. I got some crackers and hummus, and then I thought I'd go a little bit bougie
on the old drink. And here it is in all its glory. And let me tell you, this is the absolute nicest thing that I have eaten in such a long time. And I think it's because it was 3:45 in the afternoon and I was at this point bloody starving, so anything would have tasted good. These were gluten-free and they were absolutely banging. And these were all right, and it was just a bit tasty up in air, but the flight was so quick. It was like an hour and 15 minutes, something like that. And here we are at his first Christmas market. This, by far, has been my best one this week. I had a breakfast. I don't even really like sausage, but I just thought, in the big scheme of things, when in Germany, you're just going to have one. And I decided that we were going to do a tea tray check because we're staying over 4 hotels on this trip. This was all right. You've got a kettle, you've got tea bags, you've got coffee sachets, milk sachets, sugar sachets. Pretty standard, really. I also think whilst we're on this trip, we do definitely need to do a breakfast check. It took me a while to get my head around what I wanted to eat, but I'm always like that, a buffet breakfast. Best things in my life, but they caused me quite a bit of anxiety. This were a very busy restaurant because the breakfast came with the hotel stay, but that pretzel stick were absolutely gorgeous. The porridgey stuff, I only had about a quarter of it, but I love the little wafer cups that you put the jam in. And then we went to walk back into the city, as plan is to get there in the evening, see the lights, and then spend the day there and then move on. This hot apple was absolutely gorgeous, like a mulled apple drink. Second hotel, and they had a sweet tray and some posh coffee. I do like turning up to an hotel room and finding that they've got a bougie coffee machine. As you know, I love a good espresso pod. But they didn't have any tea bags and there were no other tea trays. So if you didn't like coffee, you didn't get a drink. But with this one, they did give you a bottle of water. Previous hotel, nada, nothing. Massive food market. This is called a snowball. You could get them with different centres in, like biscuits stuck together with caramel in the middle, covered in some form of cheap chocolate. We did try a few different things. I had a couple of bites of the biscuit ball, a couple of crisps. Then I ended up just having a small pizza because by this time I was more than hungry and I'd already flipped a lid in Subway. Kids fancied buying these from a shop, but they ended up not liking them, and it's because they're apricots and raisins, and basically it's an adult pick and mix, and you need to be all right with anything that you pull out of it because you've got absolutely no idea what you're pulling out of the bag. And breakfast check again. It were a smaller breakfast, but as I've discovered, I only eat the same sort of stuff anyway, so whilst it's a feast for your eyes, I tend to stick with what I know, which is a gorgeous bread roll. We even bougied up. We haven't got wafer pots this time for us jams. We've got glass pots. And then I had a mixture of yogurts. I had peach yogurt, natural yogurt, a little bit of fruit and a few seeds, and it was absolutely banging. This is my ideal breakfast. We went a full day trip, full walk around the city. They even got me on one of these things, which my fight or flight was well triggered. And this is when it all went wrong, because I ordered a pumpkin spice latte without alternative milk, and the day turned. My stomach is yet to recover, but tea tray check again, a bougie coffee machine, tea bags, only 1 sachet of milk, but in this hotel 2 bottles of water. Ended up going out for a McDonald's because that was the easiest option, and I got a burger and a chocolate cherry pie. That is all for this week.